Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I've got this beautiful Aladdin's Castle. Beautiful back glass. Playfield. It doesn't look awful, just pretty dirty. A bunch of old crusty broken rubbers. Plastics are kind of tired. The actual plastics are good. I mean, just talking about like the posts and things. The top plastics are pretty decent. The ground was deleted back in 1981. My dad might have cut that off. You want to look inside or just turn it on? Let's turn it on. Let's see what happens. Well, okay. The square motor found its home. Do we have a credit? Don't have any credits. Hit the credit button. Kick the ball out. I kicked another ball out. Just like the last game, no lights at all in the back glass. Scoring. I don't know if it's 3 or 5 ball game, but should be approaching 5 balls. Hey, we got through 5 balls in a game. So that's a lot better than normal. Let's open up the cabinet or the playfield and look inside. First glance, relatively clean. As I clean, I mean like rust-free. Quite a bit of slop in the flippers. A little less than that one. A little less than that one. These fuse holders are horrible. And that one's missing. That's probably all the lights for the head. So, yeah, that was just like, I just barely touched it and folded up. And that's why the fuse is missing. It's probably laying down in there somewhere. There was. That might be it right there. But it's like somebody might try to solder that in there, or maybe that just hunk of solder is stuck on there. Not sure. See if we got lights in the head. Still no lights in the head. Well, in any case, that'll be one of the early tasks, is just change that whole fuse holder assembly. But generally, look at the manual. Oh, and there's the schematics. Good, good. Instruction card. Business card of somebody that was routing this game way back in the day. Either routing it or sold it to somebody. There's a bonus unit. It doesn't look half bad. See if it steps up and steps down. Stepping up pretty well. Stepping down pretty well. And so far, I don't see a whole lot. Oops, I just done. Nope. Yeah, I did. Let's just check out the, I guess this is the player unit or the ball unit. Probably the ball count unit. Okay, so we're, oh, that's pretty slow coming back. Yeah. So there's player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in game. Hey, oh, that's 2-player game. So there's player 1, ball 1, player 2, ball 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 1, 5, 2 in the game. Yep. And you go back home. And it doesn't really quite want to get there, so it just needs to be cleaned up. Match unit. It's moving. I don't know if it's registering those contacts, but it's definitely moving. Oh, shit. That scared the crap out of me.
And me.
Yep, knocker works. So that steps up and steps down pretty well. That's a reset. Let's go to the other player, see what happens. Why isn't it going to the other player? No matter what we do, it's not going over player 2, so that's interesting. Not sure what this thing is right here. Doesn't have a label on it. So anyway, it's kind of working. But, so to start with, like I always say I'm going to do, and this one I'm actually going to do it. And I always say that also, but this one I'm really actually going to do it. I'm going to clean the Jones plugs. I'm going to change those fuses. I'm going to clean the switches on all of it. Oh, that's interesting. Pop bumper just fell apart. So it's, oh, that bracket has broken the bottom. So like, see how that one's the bottom pieces. That's one continuous piece. And that one's just broken off. So I'll get a new one of those. I remember seeing that when the guy dropped it off. So I'm going to go through, clean all the switches, clean these units. They're not real dirty, but it's probably been decades since they've been cleaned. I don't think this game's been played in quite some time based on the size of the look of the rubbers. In any case, let's start getting these Jones plugs undone. And they are not, again, this game's relatively clean compared to most I see. So that's good news. So I was just going through cleaning the Jones plugs and just noting a few things. This wire here seems completely out of place. It's connecting this right here, which I'm not exactly sure what that is actually at the moment. Some kind of continuous, some kind of alternator, I would guess. The wire from there hooking up to this way, the coin switch. So that, oh, are they trying to add credits with the alternator? I don't know, but that's not a factory wire there. And this wire here is completely out of place too. It's the only wire coming from like this way. All the rest of them are on a loom coming through here. So when you see stuff like that, it's like that's hackery. Likewise, there's a little bit more hackery up here on this coil. Those two big red heavy gauge wires. They don't belong there. Somebody's tapping power from this power rail, I believe is what's going on. Not sure where those are going, but I don't know. This goes into the loom. It's inside the catgut, so maybe it's factory. I don't know. Doesn't seem factory. Maybe that one is. There are some rubber insulated wires in this game. Some of them are, some of them are not. So maybe that one is factory. Anyway, I think the next thing, I haven't done the switches yet. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get after the, oh, I never did. This is the most important one. The bottom. This one sometimes burns up. The plugs in it. Nope, that one looks good. It's just a little bit of cleaning and put this one back in. Sometimes it's good to kind of bend these back a little bit, just to tighten them up after 50 years of service. So I got the new fuse holders and proper fuses in there. And I just turned on the game, make sure everything was cool, see if I had backboard lights in it. Everything was like dead. I mean, it just wouldn't go. And I was like, I took a picture of that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I wired up the same. And I had. I was like, well, had no power. I mean, so I was looking at this and it's like See that? It's the same way. So that's the fuse, the line fuse for the whole thing. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. Yeah, that one there, that side there is also just falling off. So get that one out of there, and then hopefully we'll have some reliable power. All right, so I got that one refused too. So I got reliable power now. So I haven't done any switches, but I do have back box lights. So we've got reliable juice. So now it's time to get my switch adjuster and my little baby file and just go through these switches. It looks like a daunting. I know people like get like, oh, you got every single one. It is a little bit, but you know, the Williams ones or the Williams and Bally ones are not so bad because they're on the vertical stacks. The Gottlieb ones where they go around this way, they're a pain. But this one's not going to be too awful bad. The Gottlieb, the switches are really close together. They have very little travel, so they're always very hard to adjust. And this has only got, well, it's got couple units in the back, so it won't take too long. Two, maybe 3 hours, and then everything's gonna work perfectly after that. So I figured I'd film cleaning this. I'm gonna need a stubby. I'll be right back. So it's pretty much the same process for all these units. Take off this wheel. And they'll either have a screw or a nut. Oh, before I get too far along, you get a magic marker. Because these always have two ways they can go. So I'm just gonna mark there and I'll mark right there. So I know which way it goes back on when I'm put it back together. Just wiggle this thing off. There we go. And so it's a matter of just mostly cleaning this surface. I always like to clean each little surface area. These are usually pretty clean because they're always getting scratched. I mean, this does too, but gunk builds up. I just use some alcohol. That's a solvent. Bend these tabs out of the way. Catch my Scotch-Brite. Like I said, this one's not extremely dirty. The other thing I always like to do is, for one thing, you want to avoid pushing that in, because if you do, the cog will come undone. This thing it'll unwind on the backside because it's being held under a spring. See how easy it moves now? So I'm pretty confident that the friction is not on this other side, it's on this side, and that's usually almost always the case. Just like to wipe all the alcohol off, and you'll get brown, gunky alcohol and stuff mixed in with it. Sometimes I'll do that a couple times because alcohol will help dissolve it, but or just flush it off, because when it dries up again, all that gunkiness, if it's still there, it will still be sticky. So once I'm done with that, I'll get PBR grease. It's like a $6 jug. It's like tiny, but I mean, I've been using this for, geez, I don't know, not quite a year. It just takes a little tiny dab. And then just reinstall this, and I've got my mark here. So I know that goes towards me. There's only two ways it can go, the right way and the wrong way. And when you push this in, hold the back side so you don't push it out, because then you will, if you go down that road, you will wish you had not made that mistake. Okay, just find the screw, throw it in there. Sometimes you have to take the whole unit off just to get that screw out of there, depending on how they're lined up. This one I could get with a little stubby screwdriver. And we'll check it. The other thing to do is make sure that they're lined up, and it could really usually you can just I'm going to slide these gently. I think I got it just a little bit. That looks a little bit better. So that one's done. So on this one up here, kind of the same thing, except you've got to take these two pieces off, take off that little cotter pin there and pull that apart. It's just kind of a pain. You just take pictures, do it slowly. I think there's the exact same thing down the cabinet, or very similar. The one I said might have been the alternator. It's a very similar mech. This is the match unit, but it doesn't have an usually they'll have the match and the alternator one unit, but this one they've got two different things. And this may be working, but if you can see inside, it's pretty dirty. It's about time to be cleaned. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll unmount this from the cabinet so I can get to it a little bit better. Just take these two screws off. I'll still be tethered here by these two wires for the coil, but have a little bit better access to the whole thing. All right, so I got through the game, did all the switches. Well, I haven't done the score reels. There's always an exception. I haven't done the score reels yet. And the one unit, so there's another one. And I figured out what that probably is. The little small unit down the bottom, I think that's probably the Aladdin's Alley unit. I was wondering if it's alternate, but that's probably what it is. I haven't gone through that one. I've gone through all the rest of them. So there's two things that are not working right now. Only two, well, three really. That pop bumper, but that's broken. The Aladdin's Alley, it worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 500. Ding, that's 1,000. Ding, ding, that was a 2. So that's working. But if you roll over A and B, that lights this arrow here, Aladdin's Valley score when lit. So when you roll through here, you should get whatever that says. You should get 3,000. But instead, I got nothing. I got squat. No dings, no dongs. So that's not working. The other thing is, so I run my bonus a little bit. If I drop the ball, you didn't see it. It counted it down here, but it's just not scoring it. So those are the two things that I think maybe that's the only two things that are not working right now. But I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow because I'm heading out. I'm gonna go eat dinner and then going out for karaoke with my buddy Dave. So we're gonna tear it up. So I'll see y'all mañana. Well, it's next morning for me on this Aladdin's Castle, and I'm gonna try to figure out why this is the Aladdin's Alley Special is not scoring when it's lit on the Outlane, and why the bonus is not scoring. Before I do that, I still haven't cleaned this unit. I'm pretty sure that's the Aladdin's Castle unit. The Aladdin's Alley unit. I haven't verified that, but it almost has to be because I don't see anything else doing it. So I'm gonna take that off of there, tear it apart, clean those two surfaces. I think it's actually working right now. I don't think that's any part of the problem. Could be one of these switches. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it, but I'm gonna go through and clean it, and maybe that will get this part here working. I doubt it, but maybe. If that doesn't, then we'll dig out the schematics and figure out why it's not scoring on the Outlane. All right, I got that clean, put back together. I just want to make sure, well, I'll see if this works, and I also just want to make sure that this is, the Aladdin's Alley still working. That was 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. And I've got the plug for extra ball in the back, so I can't tell it did anything. Extra ball's not lit. So maybe that's another thing. I don't know. I did not get an extra game. Like I said, I've got it on extra ball. I don't know if the the specials. Let's see exactly what it says. The label. Oh, that was a high score feature. So that may or may not adjust that special also. It may not. The special probably should step up the score wheel. And this thing is just crazy loud. We'll get it off. Let's try it one more time. Now that we're not on 0, we're at 2. So now it's not even going up to the special. That's weird. Let's forget about that for the moment. Let's do this. That light's here. So let's see if we get our... So that did not... Okay, let's focus on this first. Let's get this switch working. That should score the 5,000 points. So let's dig out the schematics. Find this Aladdin's Alley score value. That's going to be kind of... Stuff like this hard to find on the schematics because you can't... There's not a key for the switch. There's really not even a... We'll find this bonus unit because this switch is going to go through that unit, and the unit will be on the schematics, then we'll kind of try to dig out from there. So this is a pretty long set of schematics, so trying to find like that switch is kind of hard to do. But the units, they've got these like boxes around them, like that's a plug, or there's a unit there. There are some units or plugs, so they've always got these little boxes. So we ought to be able to find ball count unit. We ought to be able to find that Aladdin's unit on here. Relatively easy. I won't bore you while I look. Here, let me find it real quick. I never did find it, but when I was going through here, just happened to see this Aladdin's Alley relay switch. So there's an Aladdin's Alley relay. So yeah, if I'd looked for that, that would have been... So let's go from there. G15. So it's right here. And somewhere on here there should be a Aladdin's Alley relay. There should be probably a switch, the Outlane switch on here somewhere that can activate this. Bonus score unit, that's all in it also. So maybe those two things not working are tied together. I don't know. I'm looking and I don't see that Outlane switch. So you come up. That's a 0. That's the 0 position on the unit. That's the 9th position on the unit. That's another switch on the unit. Bonus score relay. Score motor. Another on the score motor. Well, I'm a little lost here why that's not going. So maybe what I'm kind of thinking, just because we got the bonus score, I'm trying to thinking maybe we focus on the bonus score first, and maybe that'll take care of this one. So let me go that route. So first, I just messed around with this. I got the special and then went through it, and this light here,
either the bulb is flaky or the switch that holds that light on is flaky, because it wasn't lit. And then I went through, and actually I know it's the switch for the relay, because that one wasn't lit and that one wasn't lit. And I did it again and it was, and then at one point they were on and off and on and off. So that switch that controls the bulb, but not that controls the logic, because there's always, like when there's a light feature, there's one switch on the relays that will control the 6 volts for the light, and there's another one that will control the whatever 30 volts or 35 volts that does all the logic for the relays. So the lighted one was not working reliably, and it's usually the lights that don't work because it's only 6 volts, so it doesn't pass through the switches as well as the 30 volts. So that is working 100%. Special is working, and it is giving the extra ball. It's kind of what I wanted it to do, because it's going to be in home use, so extra game doesn't do you much good. But if you're on an extra ball, that's pretty cool. So that part's done, but this is still, well, yeah, I should have gotten. No luck there, So I still got the same 2 problems I had, but I don't have the extra problem that I thought I did with the special. So I'm going to dig a little deeper and see what I can find. Well, I'm going to take it back one more time. And so I actually found this Aladdin's Alley unit disc on here. And so by the way, there's the output from it, so you can get a credit or extra ball. So it's set on extra ball, and that's working. But the input of it, you got the Aladdin's Alley relay. That side's working. Out rollover. I think that's an Outlane rollover. So that relay, it engages. You hear it. It's not scoring the 1,000. You hear it's running the score motor and everything. But I wonder if there's a switch on the out rollover relay that is not making contact. That's the obvious thing to check anyway. So I'm gonna find that down in the bottom of the game, adjust the switches on that. That switch on that relay, and looks like it's orange and white and yellow. So I get the Playfield up in the air. If I hit that Outlane switch, and the A and B are both energized, so that Outlane light is lit. If I hit this, nothing. And it is that second one back. It is energizing. If I can hit the switch here. Actually, I thought it was. Yeah, oh, it's the very last one. See it moving? Oh, see, then it went. If I really mash it, it's actually that switch, that second one back there. If I put a little pressure on that switch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's on 500. So indeed, I'll get you in here where you can see it's that middle switch on that bank. See that orange and white and the yellow? That's the one, and it looks like it's gapped properly, but it's just not clean enough. And I cleaned them, but sometimes you don't clean them well enough. So I'm gonna clean that switch a little bit more, and I think that will take care of that one. So my hypothesis that they were tied together, had to get to the Outlane, bogus. It's supposed to score right here. So if you've only got it at 500, you actually lose points because you would have got 1,000. So don't drain before you build up at least 1,000 points on your Aladdin's Alley. I got my A and B lit, Outlanes are lit. I got my 500 because my Aladdin's Alley's at 500. So that's working, they're both sides are going. So now it's the bonus ladder. It's not scoring. Let me put a little bonus on it. I guess the bonus goes back and forth. Need to make sure that's working. Didn't realize that. Okay, let me hit some kind of a switch that would be. So I need to make sure that is, or actually that turns off when you do these. That's what it is. Actually, they light. Let's do this upside down so it's hard to see, but that's the ABC, that D, that's the in lanes. Those light the bonus ladder in the middle. So I'm building up the bonus ladder there, and the 5 doesn't work, but the rest of them do. So I got 15,000 bonus, and I hit the Outlane switch, and it counts it off, but there's no points. and it kicks out a new ball, and it's ready. So I just got to get the points working. So I found the 1,000-point relay, and that's the relay that runs the score reels. It also does a chime. So basically, if that goes, it will score 1,000 points, and it can score 1,000 points. It does on every other case except for the bonus. So you look at the different paths that can cause that to work, and one set over here has the bonus score relay on it, a switch on the bonus score relay. So either the bonus score relay is not actuating, or it's actuating and it's not, that particular switch on that relay is not actually closing, or it's not closing well enough for the electricity to go through. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the bonus score relay. I'm going to actuate the game and see if the bonus score relay is closing, if that relay is closing. So that's the bonus score relay right there. So with my hand, I'm gonna hit the switch on the out-hole relay, and we'll see if that thing engages. It does. So my guess is there's one switch on there that's not making good contact. We can even go a step further, and we can see which switch that is. So the two colors are brown and yellow and white and blue, which are probably gonna be dog turd and a light dog turd colors. Yeah. So I cleaned that switch pretty well. It didn't fix it, but it could be some other things. It could be the bonus unit 0 position. It could be the ball index, and then there's all this stuff before it. And I was looking at this. These are labeled CD, and the C and D, those two rollovers, if you get both those down, it does the double bonus. So I think, so this is a normally closed. So I think this is the path before, so this is your single bonus on this side. And if you get both those down, then this swaps over and it comes this way and you get the double bonus. It doesn't work either way. So my thought is, if at least one of these paths would work if it was one of these switches down here. So it's probably, most likely it's one of these three up here. Well, I just did that one. So I'm gonna check the ball index and the bonus 0 position. I've already looked at the bonus 0 position a couple of times. That's on the bonus unit. It could be that one. Actually, that'd be super easy to get to, so I'll check that one real quick. The bonus unit position. So that's the one when this bonus unit gets to 0. Well, it's this stack of switches here. So that's a normally closed until it gets to the 0 position. So like right now, it's one of these closed ones, and they all look pretty decent, but I don't know which one of those three it is. It's not worth taking the time to trying to figure out the colors, just clean them all. So now it's the ball index. Yeah, and usually it's not worth trying to get the colors, just clean them all, but just for fun. So it's white and blue and green, or is that blue or black? B, I think B is blue. White and blue and green and black. And so I'll clean that one also. So I cleaned that ball index unit, and that fixed the problem. I'll just get rid of it real quick. Put some bonus on it and hit the out hole. Did I hear it skipping a couple? I know it scored some. I did, because it didn't score again. So I made progress, but it's still a little weak. So the last time I cleaned that, and I cleaned the ball index. So I don't know which one helped it. So I kind of like to clean one thing and then check it, and so I know where the problem was, so then I can focus on it. I suspect it was the ball index, but I don't really know that. Anyway, I'm gonna clean them and put them. The ball index, I didn't adjust the tension. It has room to make it tighter, so I'm gonna do that. So I started cleaning that bonus score unit switch there, didn't do anything. Then I cleaned the other two, and it was working intermittently. So I figured it was one of these other two, the bonus score unit 0 or the ball index. So I cleaned them again, and it was still intermittent. So I went ahead and cleaned this one more time, and now it's 100%. So, you know, if you've got something in series like this, it's like 3 resistors. So the total resistance is the sum of the resistance of each part. So it's really a combination of the dirty and nastiness of all 3 of them. And if you get, when you get these big long lines, it's usually one thing that's keeping it from happening, but sometimes it could be a combination of a couple. And I think that's what I just encountered it, you know. And the best solution for all this, besides cleaning them, is, especially if you got one at home that's working, is to play it. Because as Ronnie likes to explain over there at Joe's Arcade, like when these switches touch, well, they don't just touch, they touch and then they push the other one out. So there's a little bit of motion, so they grind on each other. And in doing so, they keep themselves clean. Like this game hasn't played probably in decades, and so all these switches they're dirty, corroded, and you know, going through and passing a file through all of them brings it back to life, gets to work. But to keep them that way and actually make them even better is to play the games. See these light bulbs in here? I haven't checked these. That's the over-the-top circuit. Basically, it runs this speaker, if you want to call it, just a real loud noise. It's in lieu of a knocker. So if you get 100,000 points on this game, I think there's a 100,000 point light. I'm pretty sure there is. In fact, I'm almost positive there's a 100,000 point light that pops up. But the duration of this speaker here is controlled by how long this 455 blinker bulb lights. So the first time it lights, normally they'd be blink, 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 but the first time they turn on, it's cold, so it takes it 4, 5, 6 seconds to turn off again. And so they use that cleverly on this relay here until that thing turns off, the speaker goes. So I haven't tested those yet. Let's do that right now, and we'll see if, so I don't know if over the top delay, I don't know maybe, I don't know what that is actually. What does it say? That just says delay. I'm not sure what the delay is for. Must be integral to one of the circuits. But we could find it on the schematics just for fun, or we could try to. So I'm at 95,000. I'm gonna hit this for another 5 because I got the Aladdin's Valley up to 5,000. So if I hit this, goes to 100,000, I should hear the speaker. Did not, so that's not working. There's more fun for us. Yeah. So great. So I just ran it up to 100,000 again to see if this relay was going, and it is. And watch what it's like. So I think it's just as simple as one of those switches is. It must be that switch there. It's just that front switch is not making good contact. This can close, and it's so another switch is not quite tight enough. So I got a game going here, approaching the 100,000 after adjusting that switch. So everybody in the arcade knows you are the baddest ass pinball player in the world, right there. Okay. Take a sip of your beer and keep playing. And yeah, you're in the middle of a game, so there's no backing off. Actually, no drinking your beer till yeah. Till you drain. And if you're gonna do anything with the top bumpers, the easiest thing to do, or the most important thing to do, is take these apart. Just these 2 little screws in the back. Not gonna make them look any better. Take that out. The whole thing comes apart. Take this whole thing. You don't have to mess it up. There's nothing to, it just fitted together. There's no bolts anymore. You take the whole thing just like that, put it in an ultrasonic, it'll all clean up. Put a new coil sleeve in there, because that coil sleeve is old, nasty, and dirty. And that, just doing this, will make that thing perform way, way better. And so I'm done with that. I had to kind of do that so I could get the pop bumpers off, the plastic part off the top. because the wires from the lamp hold you up. And now I can see that pop bumper ring, these two are down, they're fine. That one, I'm not gonna pull the whole thing up, but I'm gonna cut off at least part of it where it's coming up and all that dirt's underneath it. And then I'll stick Jane on, have her clean this. That's what I'll do. Yeah. I got a couple of crunchy T-posts here. Let me get some pliers and here I got a side cutter. Maybe I can just. You just have to break them. They're so crusty. I'm pretty sure I got some of these. Those baby blue ones. It's gonna look nice. All right. I usually leave all the bulbs in here while I'm cleaning it because it keeps the dirt and grime from getting down in the socket. While I'm cleaning on it, I'll probably take these flippers off. Y'all can't probably see, it's out of your field of view, but I'm gonna probably take the flippers off because I'm gonna rebuild them anyway, and they're just gonna be in the way cleaning. And this is as far stripped down as I'm gonna get. I might take these off. Those probably have nuts on the back side. They usually do. And yes, they do. So take those off. You gotta, don't start screwing from the top. You gotta get a green handled nut driver. Really the only reason I get these off is just so I want to polish them up a little bit. And they definitely look better with a little bit of polish. I just think to myself, I don't know if I have enough of the star rollovers, because all these rollovers like this, what I do, the little nub on the bottom, cut that off, and then you can pull it out from the top. Well, if I could get hold of it, I could. I had some tweezers, I could. Side cutters, I might be able to grab it. There it is. So, I guess y'all can see that. There was that nub that holds it in, so I cut that off because there's really no good way to clean that when it's in the game. So, just throw that in the trash, get a new one. And it makes a world of difference putting in new drawers. I was just thinking to myself, I've got some, but I don't know if I've got, this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10. I don't know if I've got that many. I'm gonna have to talk to Steve. Yeah. So on these Mylar like this, if I wanted to, I could freeze spray this and take it up, but then you're left with all that sticky muck underneath there, and it's really just a ton of work. Not so much to get it up, but to remove all the muck. So instead, I'm going to try to just excise this. And really, you think about the pop bumper, you can't really see this very much. So I may need to take that off right there. I think I probably, well, maybe not. I think I do need to get rid of that. Yeah. And over here, kind of want to do the same. Try not to just cut a line that's going to be visible. Kind of go in obliquely. So I'm gonna put the, I don't know if that's got a nut on the backside. I gotta look at Playfield and find out. So that did indeed have a nut on the backside, so I am glad I looked. There's really nothing holding this at this point except for the threads in the wood. I could probably go get a ratchet wrench. Maybe I should. All right, so now, yeah. All right, so that'll be a little bit to clean up, but not like the whole thing. So this thing is ready to stick Jane on. And then when she's done with it, I'll have all the fun with LEDs. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a cabinet revival, you might say. Some spray away all-purpose cleaner. And I haven't tried any of it yet on here, but I think it's gonna melt away this gunk on here. I put on a fair amount and let it set for a little bit and don't let it dry. After a while, it's almost like the scrubbing bubbles, like for the, you know, they used to show the cartoons, they start moving down. In the cartoon form, they've got little brushes and they're scrubbing. It's kind of like that. If you get enough of it, it will start to move down and you'll see the brown streaks. It's very satisfying. So we'll go ahead and keep it live and see if we can accomplish that. It may not work on this one. Every game is a little bit different. So I've got a clean rag here to start with in any case. We'll see what we get off of it. It's really clinging to it. Normally it wouldn't take this much to get it to start there. Now it's starting to flow. Just that. You see that just skunk it is sloughing off. Even over here where I didn't spray so much so you can really see, it's doing a number. Put y'all back on the stand and I'll wipe this stuff off before it gets all over the floor.
in just one pass. That really any scrubbing. You're really just wiping the stuff off. That's the new, and that's what it was like before. You realize how dirty and nasty it was. You know, that's kind of the line where I stopped. So this thing is like, yeah, this is all nasty. It's gonna look pretty decent once it's all cleaned up. The legs, it's like, I don't know, it was sitting in mud or something. The bottom of them, I don't know if I'm gonna paint these because they've got the original. Looks like the original paint. I kind of like to keep the original. Maybe I'll just clean the bottoms of them. There's definitely need new leg levelers, or I don't know what I'll do with that yet. But I'm definitely gonna finish cleaning up the cabinet here real quick. Look at this coin door. I should have shown it before. It was at least as nasty as everything else, and I doused it down with this, and I let it set for several minutes, and doused it down again and let it set, and then I just wiped it off. And I mean, it's pretty nice. That's the nicest I've ever got one without scrubbing a whole bunch with some stainless steel wool. So, wow. There's still a little bit of gunk in the corners. That's actually like rubbery glue stuff down in there. This is still wet from all the spray because I doused it. But anyway, that did a number. So I pulled the flipper buttons out. It's not until you get them out you realize how really grody they are. So I'm gonna throw these in ultrasonic and let them have a good cook. While those other parts are cooking, I went ahead and took off the whole plunger assembly. That barrel spring. It's still functional, but it's ugly. I lost all its chrome in that plunger. So that plunger's never gonna slide well. It's either been lubricated or it's got all the finger juice that's got on the flipper buttons, whatever. So I'm gonna throw these all in the ultrasonic, and then this piece of the plate here and the plunger itself, I'm gonna polish them up, and they will be super shiny. Damn, that looks good. Oh, a lot better. And wow, that looks a lot better too. Something you're not like, ugh. All right, so yeah, it's time to pass this baby off to Jane. I've done all the fun stuff, so yeah. Probably a good thing Jane doesn't watch these videos, huh? So Jane is in the late stages of taking credit for most of the hard work that I've done on this game.
That I've redone?
Basically, I did the first cleaning, and she's doing the final passes with the polish. And so it's looking pretty good. I've already got it all LED'd with the exception of the GI lights on the top, because they just get junk all over them. So I'll swap those out when we're completely done cleaning. And then we'll be ready to repopulate this thing. And I think it's going to turn out great.
This is going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Your lights are awesome and bringing out the colors with the cleaning.
I'm going to turn it on real quick to just give them a preview. I guess I got to boot it up. Yeah, so it's stuck in the pink, kind of a contrast. So you got the pink around there. And then I've got
these are going to be nice.
Wow, it looks more blue on the phone than it is in person. In person, it's almost a perfect match with this. But on the phone, look at the phone. See it?
Oh, dude.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we got the purples here. There's not really purple on the Playfield, but there's a bunch of purple on the back glass. Like it's the dominant theme is kind of purple. Purple in the kind of swimming pool blue. So anyway, the Aladdin's castle, these are all purple. And you score that when it goes at the when these are lit. So made them the same color because it kind of ties the room together, you know. The dogs appreciate that joke. And that's a joke and a joke and a joke right there. Anyway.
It's the dogs that tie the room together.
Yeah. He peed on my rug. Yes. Oh, yes. Jane's never seen the movie, but you know.
Yeah.
So most of you guys have. Anyway, all right, well, I'll let her keep cleaning, and I'm going to go out and do a service call here real quick. So I'm in the process of repopulating this thing. I kind of get the bottom half done.
and I was just re-putting in these star inserts, and it's just, to me, it's amazing how much fresher it looks by putting these in there. I mean, you get that splash of super bright white right in the middle of the playfield. I think it's one of the better things you can do to these old games is just don't even, that one's going to be adjusted. Don't even try to clean them, because you really can't, because they're embedded down in the playfield. And I used to like try to push them out, but you end up breaking the housing, the green part, and then you've got this insert that's broken, and then now you're up to just snip off that little nub at the bottom of the playfield, and then they come right off real easily. And just buy some new ones, like $1 a piece. One of the better things you can spend money on, in my opinion. Oh, and I put that target on there, and that was my last one. So at a minute, no matter when I get done with this, it's going to be at least a week or so before I can finish it, because I got to order one of those. Anyway, I got some parts cooking in the ultrasonic right now. All these, the clear, there's a lane guide right there, some clear pieces. So those are good. In the meantime, I'm going to rebuild the pops and put them together, and keep getting after it. So I've got this thing mostly populated now. Still got to finish. I haven't wired these up. So I got to wire them up on the back side, put the mechs on the back side. Got to do the flippers, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything left. Oh yeah, get that part in. Not it. In the meantime, I've got this really cool Bally sticker I'm gonna put on the coin door. Whenever I order parts for a game like this, Steve at PBR, he'll know it, and I'll order a sticker or two, and he'll like, that game never had that sticker on there. I'm like, yep, I know, but it's cool anyway. Somewhere there's a story about. I'll hold off on that story. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Something about
Something only the public can know.
Yeah, only the public know. Jane can't know. Oh, that looks way better. So I came this morning, and Django's been giving me a hand here. Got my pop bumpers put together. Started working on the flippers. Put new sleeves in there. Got some new bushings. And the rest of the parts here, got a new plunger, new coil stops, new flippers, and the pawls are in the ultrasonic right now getting cleaned up. They're not really a wear part. They just rotate. There's nothing on them. So anyway, just get all the grease off those. That is, I remember that one now. So one of the threads on there might be wallered out pretty good. For one of these coil stops. That was in one of these coil stops. Y'all remember better than I do, because for you it was like 10 minutes ago. For me it was a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago maybe. So anyway, get all this thrown together, and I think we'll be ready to play a game. I still don't have that stand-up target, and I also don't have the new pipe bumper caps. These are not horrible, but they're not good enough. I'll get 3 new of those, but we can at least bang around and play it a little bit. All right, so I got the flippers all put back together. They're looking good with the blue rubbers. Still don't have my drop target or my pop bumper caps or my stand-up target, but we're gonna play a game anyway. We go grab a ball. Be right back. We'll fire this dude up. All right. Here's first play, probably for a long time with this game, and we'll see if things are working. I already like those pink lights up there. Pops or Poppy? Get down the middle. Didn't test much on that one. Hey, here's Pops. Yes. thing plays pretty fast now. Oh, brick that one. That was double bonus. I guess that was, double bonus is A and B or C and D. C and D is double bonus. Yeah, I did do C and D. I don't think I did A and B. Maybe we'll get it this time. Oof. Okay, we're on 5 ball. And the stroke switch is not quite adjusted on that one of these over here. So what's happening is they're on high power until they get to the end, and they go in low power, but it's not quite opening up. It's just like kind of on off, on off, on off, on off with the end of stroke, so it makes that noise. Well, let's fix the end stroke switch real quick, and then we'll play another game. All right, I think I got the end stroke fixed. Play one more game here. Oh, still doing it a little bit. Yeah. Dang it. Want to get A and B and like the spinner. Oh, scissor flip. Worst death in pinball. Jesus. Ah. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got a spinner now. Now it's time to rip. Oh, see? Yeah. Wow. Look at my bunk, my extra 11-hourly. Had good bonus built up, but I didn't have my double bonus, so the 47. That's a decent. That's the first good ball I've had here. I think everything's working except for this flipper. Kind of buzzing a little bit. Loving the flippers or the pop bumpers, except for the retina burners. They're like killing me here. Oof. All right, that's it. Oh, it matched. Cool. Got the 10-point match. Anyway, if you like the videos, click like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Say cheers, Django.
Cheers, dude.